秒間60フレーム、時速1500キロ。音より速い奴らがやってきた。世界最速レースゲーム、任天堂 64F0X。
Well, it got cut off a little bit, but here we are.
You can fix
That's
that
what
in
happens
post.
when you pull up a YouTube video that's a long play as opposed to just sitting there on the menu. Anyways, welcome everybody to Remember 64. This week, everybody, we are very, very excited. This week, we've got Boost Power. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Hello again if you're a returning listener or viewer, and welcome if this is your first time joining us here on Remember 64. Of course, we are going through the entire N64 library, discussing the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. My name is David Petrangelo, and I'm just straight up having the need for retro 60 frames per second speed, and that's pretty much all I need at this point. Jiggy, look back. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the need for speed. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Of course, we are not alone. We have three of us. A prestigious guest has returned, of course. Prestigious guest. One with a hot streak that will continue once again. Let's be honest. Will continue once again for this episode. Matt from the Fun and Games podcast and many, many more is with us once again. Welcome back to Remember 64, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, you dared me to pick another game to continue my hot streak, and I had just the one. Yeah, I'm happy to be back. I love the show. It was fun being on here with all of the members of Fun and Games to talk about Banjo-Kazooie. That was a fun episode. Very chaotic, had a lot of gremlin energy, I feel like, in that one. Mostly because of Jeff. But yeah, I'm excited to be back. It's good to be on the show, and I brought an absolute guitar ripping banger with me this time.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Absolutely. And if anyone doesn't really know what we're referring to, one, Matt's on a hot streak because Matt's brought Buck Bumble with, if you're watching his the t-shirt says it alone. And then since then we've done episodes on Doom 64, we've done Banjo-Kazooie, we've done Yoshi's Story. It has been non-stop bangers, I would say. And that will continue. With F-Zero X. That's what we're talking about. F-Zero X is a very, very beloved game, I would say, out there for this console. And this is the kickoff to our very cleverly named, obviously, Vroom Vroom Month for 2025. There's lots of racing games. I think that's one of the reasons why I thought, let's bundle a few together. I think around in the 90s, especially, racing games were like beat 'em ups and, obviously side-scrolling platformers and stuff, kind of the ones that you could easily find a bunch of different brand names and different styles and all that. I feel like the N64 has a few unique ones, this being one of them. So we'll get into that in just a sec. I just want to make sure that if anyone hasn't heard over the last couple of episodes, that we are now part of the Console Creatures family of podcasts and video game coverage. These are a bunch of fellas that I've been working with for quite some time now, and Remember 64 kind of fits perfectly into that family with PlayStation Generation and the Creature Cast as the two other podcasts on the network as well that talk about more modern games, but one obviously focused on PlayStation, the other one focused on broadly the industry itself and newer games and everything. So those guests will be those people that run those shows, like Bobby, Steve, Matt, like those guys specifically will be coming on the show every once in a while whenever we get the chance, or more likely to than they were before. But other than that, if you haven't heard, this show's not going to change. We're going to have amazing guests like Matt join us like today and cover games like this and keep the thing going. Jiggy's going to be here, of course, and we're going to keep plugging away through this N64 library. But consolecreatures.com is where you can find articles, reviews, some of which mostly indies are ones that I play and review on that website, and then videos as well. The YouTube channel at Console Creatures will have videos of gameplay and reviews. The podcasts also have video versions, including this one. And we also have, of course, our own YouTube page where we have all our stuff available as well. So, yeah, just to get the little bit of housekeeping out of the way. But let's dig into this. Let's dig into this game. Let's dig into this game, friends. I'm going to start with Jiggy. F-Zero in general, F-Zero X. What's the experience coming into these last couple of weeks?
Okay, before we get into F-Zero, let me just comment, because Matt's wearing the Buck Bumble shirt. Did you hear Argonaut Games is like, we want to remaster Buck Bumble?
Oh, that's right.
I didn't hear that.
Yes.
Yeah, they were
Like
a
a couple
tweeting
weeks
all
ago
over
or
the place.
something,
They're like, this is the next game we want to remake.
Yes, that's what I've been hoping for, because they just released Croc 1 and 2, right? Like they remastered.
They do 2?
Oh no, they're doing 2.
They're doing 2.
But they released 1. Yeah.
I was like, did I miss something?
No, I know one.
Wait, where is it?
Yeah. No, the minute they announced that they were back and they were remastering Croc, I was like, oh, does that mean we'll get Buck Bumble? So yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
I think we probably even talked about it, Matt, at the time. Like that's a type of game that I wouldn't say that it feels super dated or anything. If anyone hasn't played it, it's a flying 3D action game in a garden as you play as a bumblebee with weapons, because of course you do, and it's great. But if you were to remake it, if you were to either remaster or do a new version of it or whatever, I think it would really benefit from like newer technology, newer approaches, like for sure.
Yeah. What if it had voice acting and it was Jerry Seinfeld?
Oh God,
that was like the crossover you didn't know you needed.
Right, exactly. Yeah, have him voice yet another bee.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Seinfeld fan, but I don't know. Maybe it could be Newman. Maybe Newman could be the voice. That would work for me. That could work.
Could be
Wainwright's busy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm down for anything new Buck Bumble, because as I said, oh my gosh, how long has it been? Over 2 years now since we did that episode, Matt, roughly,
at least,
as we're sitting here. Yeah. Ever since then, I've been meaning to be like, I got to pick this back up. I want to play it again. I want to talk about it more. I have a feeling like every once in a while I have this idea like, oh, maybe Jiggy, every once in a while we'll go back and do episodes that we didn't do together and play a game. Maybe if you didn't play it before, and do like a sort of, pick up and say like, oh, here's like 2-3 games in one episode that I did before me and Jiggy did episodes together, and let's get another sort of perspective on it or something like that. And that one is always like right at the top of the list, because it's just because one, I'm happy to play it again, and two, I think I also said this at the time, like I don't know that a ton of people played it. I think it's too much of a hidden gem. So why not put more ears and eyes on it? So anyways,
yeah. I've done my best to spread the gospel of it, sharing that theme song with anyone who will listen. I've been kind of bummed that they didn't put it on the expansion pass, but my assumption is there's a reason, and if Argonaut is going to remaster it, then they probably want to get some dollars for it. Though it would be cool if like maybe we got the OG version on the online on the NSO at the same time that whenever this remaster drops, because also being multi-platform would be great. I mean, I would still probably buy it on the Switch 2 anyway, but like it would be cool for other folks to be able to play it outside of the Nintendo ecosystem, because like I know that Croc it's at least PlayStation and PC, right? Isn't it the remaster?
So.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if it's on Switch or not, but like
it is, because I have it on Switch.
You do have it on Switch. So like that game wasn't multi-platform originally, I don't believe. I think it was just a PlayStation game at the time, right?
It was on PC.
Oh, it was on PC, but it wasn't on Nintendo systems.
Nothing else.
Yeah, Dreamcast or anything. So yeah, it would be cool for like if Argonaut Studios like classics could be across multi-platform now, and so like if that we get that for Buck Bumble, I'll be very, very happy.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And like you said, if putting something on NSO, if it's at all possible,
Yeah.
people can see where it started, where
Yeah,
it came
totally.
from. Like that is a little bit of maybe this is too highbrow way of putting it, but that's a little bit of an education, right?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
things like that
totally.
happen. So
Yeah.
I always find that cool. And I do that with a lot of games that we cover on this show where, it's not quite the same thing, but I'll go and I'll play the Game Boy version or any kind of handheld version of the 64 game that is
Yeah.
available, which
Mm.
don't really have to do with F-Zero in a way. It's kind of like, okay, I grew up playing the SNES one anyway. So anyways, but
Yeah, but if if there Iggy's Wrecking Ball is on NSO, there's hope for Buck Bumble.
Yeah, that's true.
But even though it's not on NSO right now, you know what it is? F-Zero. Segue back. Boom.
Yeah, smooth.
I brought us out of it. I'm bringing us back into it. F-Zero. History with F-Zero. Didn't really play the Super Nintendo one too much. That's not one my friends had because I didn't own a Super Nintendo.
Mhm.
So I did have friends that had Genesis, and I did have friends that had Super Nintendos, but no F-Zero. No F-Zero in the mix there whatsoever. This one, the N64 one, I did not own this one growing up. I have it now, but very, very particular. My friend that had a PlayStation, okay, and I would always go to his house and we'd play Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. I remember Ripto's Rage specifically. That was the best Spyro, in my opinion. But his grandma, who I had been to her house a surprising amount of times, because whenever I go to his house, like after school, just be like, hey, let's go to my grandma's. Be like, okay. And she had a Nintendo 64, and one of the games she had was F-Zero. So we did a lot of multiplayer F-Zero. It was awesome. It was just awesome. And then segue out of the N64, I did play the GameCube one a little bit. I never owned that one, regrettably, because that one's like pretty substantially expensive at this point.
Right.
Super pumped it's on NSO now, which is
Yeah.
awesome. And now we're kind of in this limbo of not having a new entry, although F-Zero 99 was pretty dope.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the chaos of F-Zero 99.
Yeah.
And I did have I had one of the Game Boy Advance titles. It's the one that has the purple car in the front. I want to
So
say
there was there was maximum velocity, I think.
that's the one I have. Yeah, I was
And
gonna
then
say it
there was also
something.
GP Legend, which was, I think, more in line with the anime that had come out at the time. Like the art was similar to the anime that ran at the time.
Yeah. I didn't have that one, but I did have Maximum Velocity. And if I remember right, that game was really cool because it's one of the games you could play a link cable and the other person didn't need a copy of the game.
I think that's right. That sounds right.
Ooh.
Yeah, I remember doing something like that and thinking that was awesome that we
That's
could do
great. Damn.
that. But yeah, F-Zero, love the series. I think it's really fun. I hope we get a new entry soon. But
Yeah.
that's pretty much my experience. I mean, it's not super, super in depth. Just played it at my friend's grandma's like all the time.
But that's a lot with racing games, right?
Shout out to Ben.
Yeah. Go Ben. Go Ben. Go Ben's grandma.
Go Ben's grandma.
Go Ben's grandma. Maximum Velocity is the one where you can do that. I just looked it up. Yeah, you can get the link cable, and only one person needs to have the physical cartridge in order to play.
Yeah, that's
it, which is fantastic. And I'm sure, I don't know offhand, but that doesn't seem like something that happened too often. So that's
On the Game Boy that I can think of.
Yeah, 2001. So pretty early for the GBA. Like that's something that they came up with pretty quickly. So that's awesome. Matt, how about yourself? I know what, I don't know if I'm stepping on toes. I know you have current experience as well with at least another one or two games on top of the 64 version. But growing up, was there any? And how'd all that go?
Yeah, so I had a Super Nintendo. I got it late. I think we talked about this before. I got the Square SNES, and so it was around when Donkey Kong Country came out. And so F-Zero was a launch title, but it was like one of the most highly rated games. And like back then, it was like mostly physical lists or magazines where you'd look up like what games to buy, and F-Zero was at the top of all the lists. So when I got a Super Nintendo, I got Donkey Kong Country. I got the Super Mario All-Stars pack that included Super Mario World, which I'm so mad I don't have anymore because that was like the best deal in gaming.
The one that came with World as
Yeah.
well?
Super Mario All-Stars that had World included on it. Yeah.
Oh, see, I got the two separate ones.
Yeah. And
Interesting.
then I got F-Zero. And yeah, I mean, I loved that game. I always like to say it's my favorite game that I'm terrible at because I am very bad at it, but it's always fun. And yeah, you alluded to I'm guesting on an upcoming. Actually, it's funny. I think these are going to air around the same time, but I'm guesting on an episode of The Main Quest hosted by the incredible Keith Casper.
Nice.
And I'm doing 2 episodes, and one of them is on F-Zero, and we had just recorded it this week. And it's very funny that both the booked very far apart from each other when I first booked them, but landed in the same week is just very funny to me. But so I was an F-Zero fan, and I was an early adopter of the N64, as we talked about before. I basically had it since launch or shortly after launch. And so as new games came out, I bought them, and remembering how much I loved F-Zero on the SNES, I was like, oh, new F-Zero, and it's finally multiplayer, because that's the biggest disappointment about the first F-Zero is it was single player. It was still a lot of fun, but you could only play by yourself. And so I was so excited that it was going to be multiplayer, and I picked it up, and I loved it. And again, probably not particularly good at it, but back then had enough time to sink into it to like still spend the time to unlock the racers, like unlock the X Cup, all the other features. And so I played it a lot, and then continue to play the series beyond. Fun fact, F-Zero is one of the few series in Nintendo's library that is completely on NSO at this point, because it stopped with the GameCube and the GBA. So
now the GameCube.
F-Zero, F-Zero X, both of the Game Boy Advance titles, and F-Zero GX was just added with the GameCube. So now the entire franchise is on NSO, which you can't say for a lot of Nintendo franchises. There are always gaps somewhere, certain games. And so that's really and so that's really exciting. And I think after this kick of playing these 2 games, I might as well mess around with the others over the coming months. But yeah, I love the franchise a lot, but it's, I'm not a giant racing fan. I like racing games, but it's always about the multiplayer. Like, I've talked about this on other podcasts about Mario Kart World. Love it on the Switch too. Think it's a great game. Barely play it unless I'm playing with other people, because like that's how I like to play racing games, is with other folks. But did like a lot of these like fast kind of fast-paced like space style racing games. I played a lot of Wipeout back in the day as well, which is basically a spiritual successor to this. There's actually a game called Fast and Fast Fusion, 2 different games on the Switch that friend of the show Dave Jackson has been talking about, that apparently those are also both really good F-Zero style racing games. I have to check them out.
And they're beautiful looking games too. I've seen the footage of the latest one, which I think is only on Switch 2.
Yes, Fast Fusion. It was a launch title.
Yeah, looks great. Like it, and definitely looks like a good like Wipeout F-Zero mix. So that would probably be a good way to get your kick right now if you have that console. So
but yeah, I mean, I love the franchise. I really do. Like Jiggy, I liked F-Zero 99, but when they like made a big deal about, oh, there's a new F-Zero, and it was this elimination game, I was like, oh, cool, but what about a new one? I remain optimistic that we might get, like, they chose to launch the GameCube with F-Zero GX. There are so many other games they could have launched that with. Like Soul Calibur makes perfect sense. I totally understand why they launched with that. It's one of the best fighting games ever made. Like, but to launch with F-Zero, like, is a curious title to choose, unless it means something. Like, I'm getting all Jiggy theory looking for secrets, but like to me that means something, right? Because why wouldn't you launch with Luigi's Mansion, literally one of the best games on the console, and a launch title,
and a launch,
right? So that's why I think this means something. I think maybe there's something F-Zero in the works. And I mean, we're getting a brand new Kirby's Air Ride, which in a million years, as much as I love that game, I never thought we would get a sequel to. So like, if we're getting that, I do remain hopeful that maybe we'll get a new F-Zero, maybe not this year, but maybe next year. So we'll see. Because there are just so many other stronger, as much as I love F-Zero, there's so many other stronger GameCube single player or multiplayer titles they could have launched with, and they didn't. And so that's why I'm pretty sure there's a reason they chose these, right?
And it's been at least 22 years since one's been out. Like, it's literally decades at this point. So it's those signs point to yes, so to speak. Like that's just how it is.
We're seeing a resurgence in Nintendo IPs that they've been kind of set aside. The only one
Yeah.
I'm like waiting to see if they do anything with Star Fox 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yes,
much the other one,
please.
and that hasn't been as dormant as long as F-Zero
No.
minus 99. But I mean, we're getting Donkey Kong, we're getting Kirby Air Riders, we're getting Metroid Prime 4. Like,
Yeah.
we have so many good games lined up. I
Yeah.
am so ready. Like, just keep bringing it back. Just come on. Go
While
Team
we're
Red.
sitting here in the middle of 2025, I would think within the next 18 months we'll see a couple of these, maybe,
Yeah,
or at least
probably.
be close to having a couple of them. I mean, obviously, as we sit here, Donkey Kong has just released when you're hearing this, but it's about to, as we're sitting here tonight. But
yeah.
but it's, you know, these games are and franchises, you know, even if you didn't grow up with F-Zero, like the three of us are sort of talking about, like I think that there's some like, I mean, there's attitude in this franchise, especially this particular version of F-Zero, that like you don't see too often, and it's colorful and it's wild and it's obviously fast and like all these things that you know, like you just mentioned, Matt, there are games that try and emulate that, but something about going back to like this one in particular, like for me, this is the one that I have the most memory with. I think I didn't own it, but definitely was a rental and definitely had a couple friends that had it.
Yeah.
And I do remember just, you know, playing this around the same time, or maybe I played the SNES one just before. It's kind of hard because I kind of went between both consoles growing up because I own both, and the Super Nintendo was one I kind of always had plugged in or could easily just swap over and stuff, and I always just enjoyed it. But I used to have the original. I don't know what happened to that cartridge. It's one of the ones that disappeared, unfortunately. But really enjoy that. And I did go back and play it a little bit over the last couple of weeks. I just pulled up a version of it on Steam Deck just to like give it a little shot and whatever. And it's fun. It's fun. But the first thing you notice when you play F-Zero X is just how much they make it feel like these machines are just so fast.
Mm-hmm.
They just, I don't know if it's, I mean, there's a lot of things at play here to make that happen. You could even attribute the little speedometer at the bottom to actually tell you what, like the kilometers or miles that you're going. You could look at that if you wanted to, but it's just the track design, the amount of other racers on it, even just the simple background. So there's something about just the way that you zip around, that the difference between the speed in this to even the GBA games, which I think I only played the maximum velocity one. You get a completely different feeling out of this one. And maybe it's the 3D, maybe it's a combination of things, but man, it just still feels so freaking good to just go at the blink of light here. Like it's
Blink
crazy.
of speed.
The blink of speed, because that's a thing, people. That's a thing.
It's a Canadian unit of measurement. It's fine.
Sure. Let's go with that. Yeah. Can you switch this to miles per hour? Speaking of, because
right,
I don't know. Can you? I'm always in kilometers. So
I don't know.
I don't
I've
think
never
so.
tried to.
I don't think
Oh, okay.
so.
I would.
I think it's just by default. Well, literally everyone but us in the States uses kilometers. So
Exactly.
I'm guessing that's
Exactly.
Japanese
So,
studio, that whole thing. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is one of those games. Well, first of all, we should say at the top, and you hinted at this earlier, this is the only game on the console that runs at 60 frames per second. And
yes,
it looks good. Like I'll say right here at the beginning of the episode, this is probably one of the best looking games on the console because it utilizes what this console does well. The ship shapes are simple. The backgrounds, though JPEGs, are simplified, and like it utilizes the fog in a way, and there's not as much of it that like it,
right.
it's killer. And like I was kind of, you know, whenever I gear up to play an N64 game, like I always go, oh, this looks good for what it is, or like, you know, the NSO is doing a little bit of help to like zhuzh stuff out a bit, but like
yeah,
this game, like just it's firing on all cylinders. And I think the fact that it's like the Super Nintendo game, they keep most of the design simple but stylish. It just makes it look like $1 million.
Mm-hmm. And I was gonna say this is part of an Elite Club. It's not the only game to run at 60.
Oh,
FPS.
really?
Really? Killer Instinct Gold actually.
Oh,
runs at
you're
60
right.
FPS.
Oh, does it really? Oh, wow.
It
I didn't know
does.
that.
Apparently, Mortal Kombat 4. Though I'm just reading this, I can't like confirm it.
Confirm.
And Super Smash Bros.
Oh yeah,
When you're in
true.
one character, one player mode,
Yeah.
60
Right.
FPS.
Right.
Which that's the one that I thought, and then I was like, wait, doesn't that run at 60 FPS? But I guess as long as you're not in multiplayer.
Right.
But yeah, it is
Oh, it's the
only
first. Okay, so
racer
F-Zero
at
X is the
60
first
FPS though.
it's the first racing game to be at 60, not the first
Yeah.
N64 game, because obviously when it came out and stuff. Yeah, because it came out 90, was it 98?
98. Yeah.
98. Yeah. So sorry, Jake, I cut you off.
No, I was done.
You're done? Oh, okay, great. We can wrap
That's
up. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Yeah, no, I
Yep.
think so. I think like everything that it's pretty easy to see that that the design of the tracks and the racers, or the actual machines themselves, actual cars. I was going to say cars, but hover cars, I guess. The actual machines themselves are where the focus is, right? As they should
Yeah.
be. And I think like you can easily like watch this video that we're seeing now, or you can go and see a screenshot and be like, ooh, look at that like ugly, like moon, or oh, look at that stagnant background, or oh, it's just a couple of dots and stars. Like, but at the end of the day, like you're never gonna look at it, and it's better that
Yeah.
they focus on everything else.
Yeah.
And I it still looks great at the speed that it's going. Like you are sure you're not actually going 1,000 kilometers an hour. I get it. But the way that they make you feel that way, and the way that the maps are zipping by you and the other racers are zipping by you, that sense of speed that they've been able to create and make it always run smooth and always feel like you're going at that clip no matter what's happening is impressive in itself. And it's got color, it's got personality, it's got all these things that you expect almost from a Nintendo game, but maybe not necessarily in this like attitude focused racer,
It feels very like 90s angst with
Mhm.
the art and everything. That's what I love about it. It almost gives me like Speed Racer vibes.
Oh,
Like,
totally.
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
I think of when I see
Absolutely.
this. I'm
Yeah.
just like, Speed Racer, man, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, this series had an anime, and it was very like cheesy, a la Speed Racer. Like there's
As
an
it
evil
should be.
clone of Captain Falcon named Blood Falcon. Like
Mhm.
it's really weird and goofy. But like, yeah, this game also like it really just builds on everything the first game does, and a good sequel does that, right? There's more racers, there's more tracks, there's and again, like the graphics, all of it, like Jiggy, you're right. A screenshot of this game probably doesn't always look great, but in motion, I think looks absolutely flawless when you're playing it, and controls well too. I mean, again,
Mhm.
like its predecessor, this is a game I love that I am very bad at. I got first place on like the first 2 tracks, and then on novice, and then probably never again.
So, yeah, so we definitely have to talk about the difficulty. That's something that
So it's so
I'm-
funny. We're talking about how it controls well, and then it's like you play this game, you're gonna feel like it doesn't control well.
Yeah.
I mean, if it controls well, but
it's responsive. It's responsive.
It's responsive. It's like it's hard to make it control well. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
I think at times like it's simple, right? You have one button to obviously your gas, you have a boost, and you have a button that can help you bump other characters or crash into other characters and stuff. And I don't think I'm missing anything else, right? Then you just have,
And then you have the shoulder buttons to like to
They'll
drift.
turn, yeah.
oh, you have to drift a little bit and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So pretty basic stuff, and something we've seen in other racing games as well. But I think there's like this balance is what they're going for, where it's like you sorry, but you can't go 1,500 kilometers the entire race. You're going to lose control. Like I think that's where that comes into play. But once you do lose control, it's really hard to literally get back on track.
Yeah.
Literally.
I've bumped into the wall way too many times.
Well, yeah, I guess we haven't said that yet. And in case someone hasn't played F-Zero, what makes F-Zero different from other racing games, and this is true of the first game too, is you have a health bar. And like hitting other cars, hitting the side of the track, hitting certain hazards all deal damage. And then usually at least once per track, depending on the side of the track, sometimes two, there are these strips of pink glowing light that when you drive over them, you heal and get your health back. Thankfully, in this game, you heal much faster. In the original F-Zero, like
Oh
it was
yeah.
slow to start healing you, and it took forever to fill the bar. Whereas here, you heal pretty quick. They also in this boosting damages you, and so you can boost as much as you want, but it sucks down your health bar.
Yeah.
And so, like,
And when
the
you have
strategy,
zero, you nick one little thing and you explode. That's it.
right? And so,
Sweet.
like, that's also part of this is like the balance of your health versus the track versus how often do you boost, and it's kind of like it's a risk reward thing.
Well, you know what
But
it
yeah,
reminds me of is I mentioned this sort of near the top when I was talking about how racing games are sort of common in these generations in the 90s. It's kind of like a lot of beat 'em ups where when you would press X and Y at the same time or B and Y at the same time, and that would be like a special move. I think this is pretty common in, I want to say some of the Double Dragon and Battletoads games.
Streets of Rage, also.
Streets of Rage, yeah, exactly. Where that would chip away at your health, but it would be a
Yep.
super strong move. Ninja Turtles games have it and stuff. It's a
Yep.
common idea. This is that, but on a racetrack, on a super fast racetrack.
And unlike the first game, also like the first game, you could see the stats of the 4 cars and like choose which one you wanted. In this, all the cars have a letter grade of like how powerful they are, how fast they are,
and their
how
body,
durable,
which I think is how
the
much damage
durability.
they can take. I think, yeah.
Right. But also when you start a race, you can choose acceleration versus top speed.
Mhm.
And like, do you really want high acceleration so you're hitting your top speed faster, or do you want a high top speed which will take longer to get to, but once you get to, you'll blow people away? And
Right.
control comes in with that too. Like I often chose right in the middle because I found if I did too much of one or the other, I just couldn't keep control of the car.
Yeah, yeah, and what comes into play with that too is that it gives you a little preview, like a 3D preview before you pick that thing to see what the track might look like. So, if it's got a lot of turns and dips and stuff, maybe you want to pick up some more acceleration and stuff. I played around with it a bit. I didn't notice like if you were just a couple of notches on either side, I didn't notice a massive difference.
Right.
But if you swing all the way to one side, you're probably picking up a couple 100 kilometers per hour more when you if you were to pick all the way to top speed when you're boosting and stuff, which does make a difference. But really, you can only I found I can only keep control of a vehicle going that fast on like the pretty simple, like the first 2 of each cup, maybe, where they aren't quite as intricate, not as tight.
Right.
Otherwise, I was just bouncing off walls and not even surviving the races because on top of this, like to me, playing this on anything outside of the medium difficulty, forget it. I'm not finishing top 3 unless I'm getting lucky, like, so I was pushing the limits and then not surviving. That was my issue. I ran into a lot. Jiggy, you're nodding your head.
Yeah, it's hard. I did, like, my sweet spot tended to be about 3 or 4 ticks toward the max speed side. I just found having a top speed more valuable. And maybe that comes from like my long history of playing lots of Sonic games, especially Sonic Adventure 2 is what I'm thinking of in particular, because like there's so many instances where I wanted to keep my speed. So it's just like memorization of where obstacles were and turns and just really like honing in on that perfect path, which you get really good. And once you get really good in F-Zero, you want the max speed. Like, because if you're like, okay, I can avoid most obstacles as long as I can get ahead of the pack, and then you're like a bullet. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Boost the crap out of it.
It's wild too. And some of the speed stuff is something I kept trying to make note of in my mind. Of course, I didn't write it down because I'm irresponsible, but it reminded me now, so I got it. Thank you, Jiggy. The top speed stuff is important if you're in that like sort of last top, like let's say top 5. Let's say the game has this way of, and people talk about this all the time with these retro racers, is that the rubber banding is just, it sucks, right? It's just a mechanic that was used, and I never feel like it feels good. I just feel like it just is arbitrary, and it's just okay, well, It's there to make things tense at the end. In this, it's almost like, and I noticed this less so in the easiest difficulty, but the medium one and hard as especially, it's almost like they're giving you the chance to catch up, because I found that it was rare for me to be in first place, one, especially at the end of the first lap, but hard to stay consistently in first place for me, especially on medium and hard, going into the third lap. So what they do is they sort of find a little bit of a way, like with the speed and things like that. As long as you're not bouncing off walls and making massive mistakes, you're going to be in the running, but they make you kind of catch up to them. And that feels exciting. And then if you get that boost and you get that max speed, or you're able to sort of push yourself to the limit a little bit, like you're mentioning, then you're able to jump ahead, sometimes literally less. Like I think I took a screenshot. I should have pulled it up. I think I beat someone on the hard difficulty. Like the first place I got on hard was 0.02 of a second or something. And I was like,
nice.
I'm pumped because I'm so excited. It was probably a sloppy race, but I did it, and I had like very little energy, and like that feels good. That's the way to do this. And getting that balance of the max speed and acceleration, I think, could help if you're doing it on the right race, which I don't know. I don't know if it was probably just my driving skill that made the biggest difference rather than the actual, or lack thereof. How about lack thereof skill? The person we're watching play right now is good. So
yes.
it's kind of depressing. Did you guys have, so there's a total of 30 characters in this that you can eventually unlock. You start with, is it 6 across the top? I think it's 6.
Yeah, you start with the first row of racers and then can unlock the rest.
And then you go down as you win more cups and stuff.
Yep.
I guess to start, you only have a certain amount, but did either of you have a go-to that you always went to, or was it kind of like, they're kind of the same? I like the look of that racer.
For me, it was based on the stats. I needed someone who handled better and had a better body more than speed, because I'm kind of careless when playing kind of these games, and so I need some cushion. I played as Leon a lot, who is his car is the Space Angler. It's kind of a bluish kind of card.
Yeah, I sent you guys. I put a link into our chat that has the big character listings and stuff. Doesn't show their actual racers, but it shows the characters themselves. Yeah.
But the characters are wild in this game, and but I would pick him a lot just because I remembered him being pretty good when I was younger and had the stats. I didn't meticulously unlock everything. There is a code that you can put in that unlocks all the tracks and all the racers, and if you do that, the game saves that information, so you don't have to go through and meticulously unlock everything.
Right.
If I were playing this from scratch for the first time and never played it before, I would do that. But since I've done that before and I mostly wanted to kind of refamiliarize myself with everything, I did that for this. And so I used Leon mostly when I was racing.
And I think Leon is, I think he's like the second or third row, isn't he? So you have to win a couple. I mean, I think you have to either win 1 or 2 on the easy or medium difficulty, and then you start unlocking the rows and everything. So did you have one, Jiggy? Any go-tos?
Samurai Goro
as a classic.
Oh yeah.
I just loved his name.
I don't understand that name or character. It's so funny because I don't know. He just doesn't. You would assume that he had some sort of samurai outfit or inspired outfit or something, and
he's got like the Japanese flag as his.
Yeah,
isn't he? As his like.
Oh, is that what it is? I didn't even make that connection.
And he's a bounty hunter and like Captain Falcon's rival. He's one of the original racers from the very first game.
From the first one, yeah. He's also from that. So So all these characters have a bio. You mentioned the anime, Matt, but like there's like they created all these little sort of blurbs and bios of these characters and stuff. Samurai Goro, one of the best bounty hunters around, and the leader of the group of space thieves. Goro's reason for joining F-Zero is because of his hatred for Captain Falcon, his rival.
Yes,
there you go.
Falcon rival.
And his ship is the Fire Stingray.
Mhm.
Doesn't that sound dope?
And
It's
it
like
actually looks kind of
pink.
cool.
It's like hot pink too.
It's oh no, yeah. So it's pink with the flames on the back. That's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
It looks like it really looks like when I was talking about like doing more max speed and looking like a bullet, that's the vehicle I was in. So like it really does. Like it's like the shape of
Shape
it's
of a
awesome.
bullet almost.
It's the shape of a bullet. Aerodynamic.
Yeah, and then each one has like what, like I think 4 different choices where you can slightly change the color on it. Like I think you can turn that pink one into yellow or something, like it.
Yep.
Small things like that. So and if anyone's watching, you can see it's the pink one that's on the top row here. So one of the early ones too.
Yeah, what was
and there
what was the second row where this person has the one that's
Yeah.
like that looks like the Batwing? The like second from the
let's
right?
see. I feel like
Because I remember using that one growing up because I
me
thought it looked like the
too. I gotta
Batwing and I was
find
like,
which
that
one
one's
that
dope.
is. I gotta find which one that is.
I don't remember who it is though.
I'm clicking through all the ones. Yeah, it looks cool. Definitely looks cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is it great? No. All these names. I'm clicking on the names, but not the actual. Well, it's not Captain Falcons.
No.
I used early on. I think it's Pico or Pico. It's like an alien. Kind of looks like he has like a turtle shell on him almost. It's the green and yellow one right beside the pink. I found like that one had a pretty good balance. That's why.
Yeah, Pico is also a racer from the first game.
Yeah, so that one has an A body. So there you go, Matt. That's a little say
An A body.
there.
That body's a 10.
A body. A it's a B in F-Zero X. Never mind. B on boost and C on grip. Wow, actually, that's not even as balanced as I thought it was. I don't know what I was thinking.
BBC.
Yeah, what the hell was I doing? Maybe that was my problem. I'm gonna blame it on what he was racing, and rather than myself. But there's up to 30 characters. Is it Bio Rex? Is that who it is? The raptor or the T-Rex?
Yeah,
that one maybe, or that black one maybe. Called Big Fang. There you go.
Dope.
That's even a cool name.
Awesome.
It's all very 80s, 90s cheese, you know. You got characters called Zoda, Billy, and Billy's apparently the first monkey to participate in F-Zero, it says.
I love the references.
He's out to prove that monkeys are the superior species. That's it. That's why
it's
he's
amazing.
Here.
Do you hear the references to other Nintendo titles? Like James McCloud is one of them.
Oh, yes, James McCloud. Yeah.
From Star Fox. That's his father. That's Fox McCloud's father.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure isn't there a guy that looks like Mario? Like he's got like the mustache and the nose and everything.
I don't know if there's a mustache. Let me see if the guy's here.
Oh, yeah, maybe I'm reading into it. Maybe he's just like unintentionally looks like Mario, but
I feel like it's hard to hide that. Something like it's not like you're picking some obscure Nintendo character to reference. You know what I mean?
True.
Another favorite of mine is actually kind of has a cool ship too. I can't quite see it in the screenshot. I think he's all the way towards the fourth row, maybe, or maybe even the last one. It's the old guy.
The old guy.
Yeah, the old guy. Let's see, what's his name here? Silver Nielsen. That's right. The Silver Fox. He's 97 years old.
The Silver
and he
Fox.
drives the Night Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Super
Most
80s.
races entered and yet hasn't won his first Grand Prix.
He hasn't won yet. Poor guy.
Awesome.
Like, just give it to him. You know, just give it to him.
No handouts.
No. You got to hit that max speed, baby.
I gotta do better.
Yeah. I found I picked particular ones eventually, but I think I lean towards having good resilience, a good body as well. It just covered me a little bit with my very eventual mistakes that I would probably make and overzealous boosting. I think that the other key thing in this game, which we've all sort of mentioned before and touched on, is the track design and the different and the amount of tracks is one thing, of course, but just the track design themselves I found to be super cool and pretty varied. There's a couple you could say, oh, that's similar to this or similar to this, but nothing feels exactly the same. I don't know what you guys, Matt, what did you think about, or it's hard to know all the different names. They're all kind of wacky names and everything, but it was a certain like style that you liked, because sometimes there's one that has like different themes or different obstacles or loops or whatever. Anything like that stand out?
Well, I mean, I love the classics, like Mute City's in this and Big Blue is in this, which has been in the previous game. This version of Big Blue had that like tube that you would race on and you could circle around it, but you had to get back towards the top of it before the road came back.
I am so bad at controlling those segments that I would fly off all the time, which is like my own mistake, you know, like no one's doing that to me. I am doing that to myself.
But like, I think my favorite tracks in this are honestly some of the repeats from the first game, Sand Ocean and stuff, because also the music, like we'll probably talk more about the music later, but like a lot of like reproductions of songs from the previous game. And like F-Zero for the SNES still to this day is probably one of the absolute best video game soundtracks ever made. It's just absolute bangers wall to wall. And this has a bunch of those, plus a bunch of new stuff too. I mean, we shared that guitar shred that is on the opening screen of the game. Like, it's just a rock and roll game, and the music is awesome. And so, well, I had some favorite tracks that were the layouts. Honestly, my favorite thing about this game, and I think it's one of the first of its kind this early to have something like this, but it had an X Cup, which you unlocked after unlocking everything else. And the X Cup is, every time you play it, it generates a different set of like it pulls track parts together and creates a new track.
It's
and every
procedurally generated. That's insane.
And for an N64 game, it's awesome. It's basically an F-Zero roguelike where every time you enter,
damn it, now that you put it that way, I have to go back and play it even more.
It's a really cool idea, and like I loved that. I played that a bunch as a kid too, because it was always interesting. I could never kind of prepare for it. It was just how good could I do on this random thing. And the music on that track also is awesome. But yeah, I mean, I think that the thing that you were saying, Dave, about how none of them feel the same, even ones that are like sequel tracks, like Mute City 2 or Big Blue 2, they don't feel the same as the previous iteration. They have the same vibe, but they change it up so it feels wholly unique. I mean, the Silence is one of my favorites because it's just such a cool name for a track, and it's basically an oval, so it's one of the easier ones to race on. Like
it's a NASCAR track. That's
basically. So I really like the Silence for that because I felt like I was accomplishing something on that one.
What about you, Jiggy? Any like particular styles, at least?
I really appreciate when there's ramps to go off of. I just love going crazy and like angling my car. I know it's a game about speed, but I always find myself whenever I'm in that situation, and the same is still true like with Mario Kart and everything. Whenever I'm going off a ramp, I always want to like make my car go as high as possible. Like, I'm always like, I'm gonna flutter out, and then I dive bomb. Like it's like I do the same thing every time. It's like, I don't know if it's the Arkham City, Arkham Knight fan in me. Just like dive bomb momentum. That's what I need. Yeah. I just love that stuff. It's super fun. It's super chaotic. And also I love when the track like flips upside down, just because it's so crazy. Like you'll just be driving and all of a sudden you'll hit, there's one in particular, I can't think of what it's called. It's in the very first Grand Prix.
Yeah.
But there's like it's essentially, and this might be just something that's in a lot of them, but it's like essentially a giant like tube like structure, and you're just like whipping around the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
like you're just going around the whole thing like that, and like looking for the boost. Like where is it? It just gets so intense.
Oh, that one's Sand Ocean, I think, where there's two pipes that you go in and out of, I think, during it.
It's awesome.
And they kind of like, one of them even like narrows towards the end too, so it starts really wide and then just you have to like fight for your spot essentially. That's chaotic when that happens, because it's really easy to sort of go over the edge, and then you can just literally just keep spinning like insane amounts.
Man, dude, I'm telling you, like anything like that is awesome.
Yeah.
And I did play. I wanted to say knockout mode. That's not what it's called. It's called like deathmatch or something.
Yeah,
But essentially, it's like defeat everybody. Like you
Yeah.
go and you just like ram into them and stuff.
It
Man,
just
I
keeps
love that.
going, I think, until you are whoever's the last
Yeah,
one standing,
whoever's
Yep.
the
I
last
think.
one standing. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's intense.
Were you guys any good at
No,
knocking? I was
No,
so bad at it,
absolutely
right?
not. Yeah.
Right? Like what? It's hard.
It's hard. Yeah, this is a difficult game, and like I said, like the F-Zero series is one of those series that I love playing. It's so stylish, it's so cool, but I am not good at it. Like I have more fun playing with other people. I like playing it by myself, but like skill is not. It's like I could probably get good at it if I spent a ton of time with it, but also I think
Yeah.
that's a thing I don't really do with racing games in general anymore. Is like I don't really play competitive racing games to try and get better. It's just not a thing that I do as much anymore. But like that said, if there was a new F-Zero game that like everyone was playing together online, I would definitely play. Like I'm playing more Mario Kart now than I was playing for a while because it's a brand new one, right? So like
Yeah.
I would totally do that with an F-Zero, but like yeah, I was very bad at deathmatch. Like I would try to take out other cars, often taking myself out or like doing more
Yes.
damage to myself. That's kind of how that always went for me.
Well, I think because you're going so fast, you have to be very accurate with it, and it's hard to do because you really like
Yeah.
if you mess up, you're sort of you use the shoulder buttons to kind of move yourself over and bump into the other cars to kind of smack your momentum into them, and that's basically the best way to do it. The only time I felt like I was ever really that successful, and one time I think I knocked out like 4 or 5 at the same time, was like a tight spot at the beginning of the race. And I was like, I got to see what happens. Maybe I'll kill myself. I don't know. And then bing, 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 the stars pop off. I'm like, oh, cool. I did it. And then nothing for the rest of the races through the whole rest of the GP. So like, it was just one of those like lucky things. And as far as I can tell, it just kind of keeps a tally for you. And that's pretty much it. It doesn't actually like, it's not like getting coins in Mario where you get a little faster or anything. It's just an added thing, which I guess is fine. But for how difficult it is, I wish you got a little bit more out of it. You know what I mean? And of course, I have to mention with the tracks, I had a couple favorites that kind of jump out. The half pipe one's kind of cool. Another one where that can get crazy chaotic. The Mute City ones are a lot of fun.
Classic.
Those ones are always good. And there's a Rainbow Road.
Yep.
There is a Rainbow Road in this, which I probably never tracked back in the day. That this is just, speaking of referencing other games, Jiggy.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw my message. I sent in the Discord an image of that Mr. Eid.
Oh,
which
yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
And he has a power star on his belt
Yeah.
buckle, so he's totally supposed to be Mario.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
That star is stripped directly from like no question. That's
He's
what
an
that's from.
android.
He's an android with because he has the power star. He's all powerful. Yeah. I want to we talked a little bit about the music too, and then since Rainbow Road is here, also just a subtitle to some of these too. Rainbow Road, psychedelic experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just a racetrack, it's a psychedelic experience. Menu music, which also is great. Come on, buddy. Pick your character. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. Death Anchor.
Death Anchor Zoda.
And
3, 2, 1.
definitely didn't hear that sound very much.
Yeah.
When you knock someone off. This is like later on. I think this is in the last GP that you get to before the X one.
It basically has no rails, so you can fall off very easily.
Scary.
Like it's
As it
just
should.
very dangerous.
That's exactly the way it should be. But I think too, Jiggy, you were mentioning that the ones that have loops and things like that are some of your favorites. I found that the coolest part of those for me is, yes, a lot of them are fun to play, but just the visual of it. Or
Mhm.
sometimes like this one as an example, you see where you were or where you're going to go, like on top of you or to the side. Like they made sure that that was also
Yeah.
included, and it's not just a placeholder, like it's actually where you are or could be. It's not just a background thing to show like, hey, this track is wild. No, you've been there. You just came from that side of the loop, or you just came from that turn that whipped you into this area and stuff. And I found that to be so cool, because in the 2D versions of this, and I have not played the GameCube one, but in the 2D versions of this, you don't get that sense because there's no way to do it, and that's just not how
Right.
the game is made, right? That's the added bonus of the presentation of this game for me, is they really, even though the surroundings around you are very basic with just the stars as your background or whatever, you still have the sense of scale and speed and 3D-ness, if that's the right way to say it. Like they really take advantage of, hey, we have 3D capability. Let's really show you how that's going to work in a crazy space age race like this. And I feel like it goes a long way to making these races feel even more epic, and stuff like that. So I love that part. Yeah, it's this game's really freaking good. It's really good. It's so fun.
It's very arcadey, very in a good way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's an arcade game. Oh man, imagine playing this in the arcade, sitting down and playing
Yeah,
this
and
with,
like one of the like a car or like a seat.
yeah,
Yeah.
but not like a steering wheel. It has to have the like a pilot
They
have.
had a version of F-Zero GX
Yeah.
as an arcade machine.
Oh, kind of like they've done with Mario Kart.
I
Yep.
think it had a steering. Did it have a steering wheel, or did it have like throttles?
Throttles, that's what I'm thinking of,
I've
yeah.
totally played it once,
Throttles I think would make sense.
but it
I
would be
could-
so much cooler if you sat in like little
yeah.
So it
Captain
did.
Falcon's Blue
So
Falcon.
I found an image of it. It was F-Zero AX, and it had the whole kind of cockpit kind of experience with a big
Ooh.
TV and a seat, and then like the pilot's kind of steering wheel. And yeah, it was. I'll post it in our chat. It was a really cool setup. I don't know that there were any in the U.S. I feel like it was like a Japan only thing for a
Are
long
you serious?
time.
I swear I've played
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh, maybe you did. Maybe I don't remember ever playing it in person, but
Jigga's like, I've never been to Japan, as far as I know.
Yeah, as far as I know.
As far as I remember.
Maybe it was like imported or something.
or maybe they
because
were imported. Yeah, because like I didn't see the Mario Kart stuff as a kid, but then as I got older, I would see them in arcades, and there was even a Luigi's Mansion arcade at one point where you would catch ghosts against another person.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
it is. Hey, look at that.
it's pretty dope.
Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
Epic.
That's a kind of like,
I want that in my house.
right. Can't
That'd be so
possibly.
cool.
That's basically a tube TV. It's probably not that expensive to
I
get
think
one of those
it's
made.
exactly what it is. Look at
Yeah,
it. Like it looks
yeah.
like a Sony tube TV. Like,
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, that's all they did, was they just hooked up GameCube maybe or something. Like
Yeah.
it's or maybe not GameCube specifically, but something like that.
yeah. Because
Because this would
AX
have been
was-
from.
this is a separate version of the game. Yeah, it's an exclusive arcade version.
That's crazy.
Didn't it have?
AX.
Or no. I'm thinking of Mario Kart. I was thinking it had an exclusive character, but Mario Kart, the
Had
arcade,
Pac-Man.
had Pac-Man.
Yep, I remember.
Oh, does
playing
it
that.
really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Did this have any exclusive stuff? I wonder.
I don't
Because it is
remember.
essentially GX. But
Yeah.
it's like a
Let's
modified
see.
version.
I mean, there's other character. Oh, new pilots. There's a bunch. What?
Yeah, they added a bunch of new pilots, but I don't think any of them were like guest characters from other games. As far
Like
as I
Crash
can tell.
Bandicoot.
Oh, let me see. I'm gonna pull it up so you guys can see it. Where is it here? This is fun that I can do this.
Plays Princess
Yay.
Peach.
There. Those are the new characters.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
He looks like someone from Dragon Ball.
I
Yeah,
feel like these could be like some popular Japanese games or something.
Yeah,
Like
maybe.
some side characters from those or something. Like,
Like
the
this,
three
this
what's PG?
Princia Ramode definitely
Ramode.
looks like a character from something else. She's okay. She's in GX. Okay.
yeah.
So some of these, couple of these showed up.
Oh,
in
so F-Zero AX came out before GX. Is
it's
that what I just read?
2003. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's just
2003.
before. Yeah, whoa,
Yeah.
this screen is jumping all over the place. So it's only 4 returning pilots, and the rest are new in it.
Yeah, and then they were added to GX's roster when that game came out. A lot of them.
Crazy.
Okay, only
Yeah.
because I noticed it. What is the GX connectivity? There's something if you
What?
go scroll down. Scroll down.
Oh,
GX
oh,
connectivity. You can plug a GameCube memory card into the cabinet
What?
to download or upload special data.
That's
what?
Custom
That's so cool.
vehicles. Oh wow. That kind of stuff is dope.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What?
Man, that reminds me of like going to Best Buy and getting like exclusive
Look at this.
Pokemon on like your DS.
Or
Stuff like
like
that.
doing like a Pokemon Snap and going to the Blockbuster and printing out
Yeah.
your photos and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man. That kind of stuff is awesome.
Yeah.
Kids these
I
days
love
now
that.
spend like $2 and they'll
I know.
download it.
Yeah,
Like this
exactly.
sucks. And it takes the like mystique out of it, right?
Yeah.
You had to do something to get that. And now it's
Yeah.
just like, well, now everybody has it.
Just press a button and it's done.
I don't like
Uh,
that.
Jiggy, the F-Zero AX locations database says that less than 20 are confirmed to be available in North America. If this wiki page is correct, maybe you experienced one of 20 that were in North
No
America.
freaking way.
I don't know.
I swear to you, I have played one of these and I'm trying to
but
remember
there was
where.
20. Maybe you got to one of 20.
There's
That's
no
what I'm saying.
freaking way. I didn't know it was like this big like rarity thing. Now I need to like look back. Well,
Look, you gotta look
what's
for
my name?
pictures or something and be like, I was there, I did it.
I'm trying to think of where it was.
Oh,
I want to say it
don't
was
know.
at like a movie theater arcade.
Doesn't July doesn't really say. Yeah, it's mostly like Matt was saying, it's mostly a Japanese thing. So, I mean, that's if you did get a chance to do that. I mean, that's
That's
pretty
awesome.
sweet.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
pretty
a lot of Japanese only arcade cabinets did eventually migrate over to the States.
sweet. Mhm.
But like,
Oh my gosh, I totally did.
yeah,
And it says Madison, Wisconsin. There's like a map. There's
No
one
way.
in Madison, Wisconsin, which is I'm from Wisconsin.
that's amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
I knew I played it. Where is it exactly? It is at Cottage Grove Road. I went to school right next to it.
Nice. Oh,
Nerd
yeah.
The
Haven
school of
Arcade.
F-Zero.
Dude, this is wow. Shout out to Nerd Haven Arcade in Madison, Wisconsin. I
Amazing.
totally played it there. That is it.
Wow.
Incredible.
You
Wow,
are
what are the
you are
odds?
one of the lucky few. What
What are the odds of that? I had no idea.
That's amazing. Well, you learn something new or re-experience something new every day, I guess.
Wow.
Exactly.
My
so
I
cool.
guess my last thing in this, we talked a little bit about the music and obviously the gameplay and stuff, but like generally it is it's a racer. It's got speed. It's got once you get a handle of how it controls, like you mentioned earlier, Matt, you can definitely I want to say perfect, but it's really hard to perfect, at least with what it seems like our skills are in this game. Not the
Yes.
person we've been watching while we've been talking about this. I think largely like this is a game to seek out. I think this is a franchise to seek out. But I don't know. There's something I got to play the GameCube one, but there's something about the sense of speed in this alone makes me want to go back to this, and the simplicity of it, almost like some of the tracks are a little bit more complex or have a little bit more going on. Sure. But if you just give the first couple of GPs in the novice difficulty a go, and it feels like, oh, I get this. This feels good. Or even just do the first one. Oh, this feels good. I think you're going to get a good sense of what this game has to offer, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you want to ramp up the difficulty, you can do that. I don't recommend jumping into, if you've never played this game before at all, I don't recommend even jumping into the medium difficulty. Play the first one on novice and play as many as you want on that, because you will get a challenge even on standard on the medium difficulty. And I mostly stuck to that. I really wanted to play the X thing, so I kept going and going so I could get to that. So that's what I was hoping to do. And I think honestly, for me, from start to finish, this game just shines. So I love it. I recommend pretty much anybody, especially if you have a Switch, it'll control well on that too. You don't have to worry about that's another thing too, is like we've talked a lot on multiple episodes about the controller, about the N64. Like I don't know that there's an advantage to playing this on the original controller. You guys, maybe you two can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of I don't know.
No, I used the reproduction for the Switch, that N64 controller, which I have, and I mean, it felt good to play on that controller, but I didn't feel like it had any advantage. You can't use the D-pad; you have to hold it in the center and on the right prong, like a lot of games. But like it controlled really well. You could use the D-pad for like selecting a racer and stuff, which some games don't always let you do. But yeah, I mean, the first time I booted it up was on the Switch 2 and handheld, and it ran like a dream because most racing games translate from console to console. Like the racing game controls have not evolved that much. The small details that you can do, but like a dual, most of them are single analog. Most of them are, it's just left and right, pivoting side to side. So it controls really well. Like I said, like Jiggy said earlier, like you feel like you're out of control, but it's not the control's fault. It's the pace of the gameplay. But yeah, I don't think there's any advantage on this one. Like when we talk about Banjo Kazooie, like I absolutely felt an advantage using the N64 controller. It just felt right. But here, I think you'll be just fine using the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I think a big factor whenever I play N64 games, usually the thing that makes the controller have an advantage is when you have to use the C buttons for main functionality. Like anything aside from the camera, it just feels like you have an advantage with the N64 controller. And this game, I don't think so. I don't think it really offers anything in particular that another controller wouldn't. I think it'd be just fine. Other than I'm not sure about the sensitivity of the stick.
That's the one thing I was going to bring up. Like, I wonder if that makes a difference. I jumped between playing this on the EverDrive a couple times, and then on the go, I was playing a lot, sort of on the train back and forth to work on my Steam Deck for emulation, and I didn't notice a massive difference, but I also wasn't looking for it. So I don't know, because I think because of the way that these things control, like it is pretty quick, back like left to right, left to right. You're not worrying about your angle, but it's not as,
you're kind of doing subtle movements anyways. Like you're kind of going in a straight line and then just like a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and then you hit the drift buttons, left and right. So
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, there's no brake, so even that doesn't even.
The wall is the brake.
Yeah, exactly. Use the other cars to slow down.
That's right.
I'm going too fast. I don't want to win this easy.
I got to make this interesting. Yeah, it's which at a certain point, if you get used to the game and the controls and stuff in the novice difficulty, you'll probably be ahead in most of the races and stuff, which still feels good because they do make it competitive for most of the race. But as you would with a lower down difficulty, it does help you succeed a little bit more as far as coming in first place and stuff, which is good. And I think the difficulty ramp up is significant when you play in hard. It is really difficult to win races, even in the simpler tracks. But it's a lot of racing games. You just perfecting it, understanding it. It's like knowing boss patterns, just knowing the races and what you need to do and get good or whatever. F-Zero X, I think it's a fantastic game. I think people should definitely check it out. So any final thoughts, my fellow F-Zero Xers?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me on to talk about this game. I'm glad that I brought it. I'm glad that I revisited it. Now, I agree with everything you guys have said. Like, I think it's just a tight, well-made racing game. And I think that's the thing I love about F-Zero is like across the board, as far as I can recall, admittedly, I haven't played the later ones in a while. They're all just really good, tight racing games, right? I don't think there's not really a bad version of F-Zero. I think this is one of the better versions because I think the multiplayer is fun. I think I like the pace. I like its style. There's something about polygonal graphics when they've aged well, and I think the N64 does it best when it's got really good art direction. As we've said many times on this show, and I've said in other places, the realism stuff doesn't age well. You think of your Golden Eyes, Mission Impossible, right? When they're trying to look like people. But, Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, F-Zero X, games like this age well because they have a style and like an artistic vision that is not based in reality, and so you can kind of get away with whatever you want, and that will always make it look better. Are there racing games that look better than this? Of course, but like it runs at 60 frames. It's stylized, it's really fun, and I think it's really a solid choice. And if I had to pick like an N64 game to like give someone with no context to see like what the N64 is all about, I would totally hand someone this game and be like, here, play this, right? You don't really like, also because I feel like institutional knowledge of playing racing games, even since the early days, basically translates to this. Like, it's not really, there's not a lot to quote unquote learn. If you've played a racing game, you know how to play this more or less and can pick it up quick. If you don't like racing games, you probably won't like this. There's not much, there's no story really. There's blurbs about the characters, but there's nothing beyond that. But if you really like racing games, this is an easy recommend for me too.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a really good game to get in and get out.
Yeah,
get in or get out, I guess you could say.
There it is.
But it really is. I mean, so easy to jump into and grasp the concept of it. The controls are fairly simple, not overly complicated. Really good use of 3D, like solid, just kind of across the board. And the fact it runs at 60 FPS is awesome. And I think that's like a huge selling point. I think visually, just the fact it runs at 60 FPS, because not many games back then did that.
Yeah, totally.
No,
awesome.
no. Yeah. And you know what's interesting too? I mean, I think I learned that maybe a few years ago or something. But at the end of the day, like even if you didn't know that was the number that was ticking in the FPS for this, like it just the way it feels. It doesn't have to be 60. It could have been 30, but if but it just feels smooth, partially because of the frames per second, but just the design of the game, the tracks, all the things we've been talking about is why that is a possibility and why it feels so good. So I think Matt, you put it well. This is one that you would just hand to someone and say, yeah, this is a good example of what you can do with this console. And not every single aspect is going to be like, whoa, I've never experienced anything like this in my life. But you'll get a good taste of what early 3D can really do, and how you can turn polygons into speed. And that's cool.
Really and while I haven't played Fast Fusion, though I've heard there are similarities, like there aren't a lot of games like this right now. Like Fast Fusion is being talked about, because the Switch 2 lineup is on the smaller side, which is fine, but like also because they're just like, there hasn't been a new Wipeout game in a long time. As we said before, there hasn't been a new F-Zero game in a long time. And so they're not really making games like this. So I think this stands up against modern racing games too, because it is fairly unique even compared to those.
Yeah, exactly. If you have NSO, play it. I don't know if it matters which one you jump into first. I don't know, but I think this is one of, like you guys have both said, I think that this is a fantastic one. So if this is the first one you try, great. I think you're definitely won't be disappointed. So, Matt, thanks so much for bringing another banger. I don't know. There's
not a lot left. Yeah, I know.
You gotta keep it going. It's on you. Okay,
I know.
It's
on
you.
Yeah. Look, my secret weapon was Extreme G, because nobody played that, but I loved that game. So like now that one's off the table, it's like I was like, oh, F-Zero, we'll do that. But like now I'm really like looking. I'm like, I don't know what's left. I mean, there are tons of great games on the N64, but like.
But you've brought all of them, so
I brought all of them, so there's none left. Yeah. But no, thank you for having me. Thanks for letting me bring this. I'm glad that you guys had a history with it and were eager to revisit it, and I'm glad it lived up to it. Right? You never know. Like I was nervous about covering the first F-Zero, also that it wouldn't live up, because it's a Super Nintendo game, and there are plenty of great Super Nintendo games, but there are also plenty of Super Nintendo games that haven't aged great. And the N64, it's really hit or miss, right? How well, like, do I remember it being great, or is it actually great? And so I'm just glad that this, well, because there are games that, like, I talk about this with like a lot of the modern games that play like old games. Like I think of Shredder's Revenge, the new Ninja Turtles game. Like it plays like how we remember Turtles in Time playing. Turtles in Time plays fine, but how that new modern game with all the like additional moves and stuff plays now is how we remember that game being, right? Absolutely. And so like I'm never sure when I play an old game and go back to it, is it actually good, or do I just remember really loving it?
Right.
Because every game is somebody's favorite. We like to say on Fun and Games. That doesn't necessarily mean those games are good. I played a lot of bad games in my youth that I genuinely loved, and so I'm just glad that this lived up to it. And now I'm really curious to go through the rest of the games in the franchise and see if they all still live up, because like I remember really liking Maximum Velocity, and it's one of the few games in the series that doesn't feature any of like the canon characters. It's like a new cast of characters. I think it's a prequel game, like it's an older race or whatever. So I'm curious to see if those hold up too.
Yeah, I really want to jump into the GameCube one in any way. Maybe eventually, if I get a Switch 2, that'll be the way. But I want to try like the other version of the 3D. You know, the 3D version of it that isn't this wild arcade apparently. So, that only one person in North America played, I think.
And he's right on this show.
What are the odds of that?
Right.
I'm like, that's so cool. And
I
now
love
it
it.
feels like such a missed opportunity to not get that save data for my memory card. And now I'm just like, when I go visit my mom back home in Wisconsin, I'm gonna have to make a trip just to see if I can get that data.
See if it's
I'm
there.
like,
See if it's
I need
still
to
there.
know.
Yeah.
Carry like a little satchel of your memory cards and start plugging them in.
I have one for sure. I'm
You
seeing
need
if I have it
You
right
need many.
next
You
to
need
me,
backups. Those things can
behind
die.
me, right?
You need backups.
I mean, I got a GameCube memory card at least.
Yeah.
There you go. Matt, where can everybody find your awesome work out there, including Fun and Games?
Sure. So everything I do can be found at djstormageddon.com. It has both of my podcasts, Fun and Games and Reignite. Both of you were guested on one of our console retrospectives, obviously the Nintendo 64 retrospective, and that was a ton of fun.
Talked about? Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh,
what are
man,
the
I
odds?
thought we were talking about the Dreamcast.
But
Still waiting.
you both guested for that, and we were super grateful. And then you both have done side quest episodes as well. Fun and Games is a podcast that's broadly topic based. We do console retrospectives, we do franchise retrospectives, we interview game developers, we talk about different topics like, is grinding overrated in games? Are open world games supposed to be signposted? Can you get anxiety from an open world game? Things like that. Really fun, interesting, and unique conversations. And then we have a sub series within the feed called Side Quests, where a different host every episode talks about a game they love and why they love it. Both of you have done some episodes, and then we have like this. We're coming up on our 400th episode, which a little tease. We've already decided what we're recording about, and we've also found our guest. It's a Superpod Saga podcaster, like that Superpod.com podcaster, not from Superpod Saga, but from one of the other shows. And so we're excited to do that. We're not quite ready to reveal it yet, but we're excited to record that. And then the other show I do is Reignite. It's a play along podcast, started as a Mass Effect play along pod, but what if we were Commander Shepard and made choices as if we were Commander Shepard? And more importantly, the aliens we romanced as Commander Shepard. That's all people really care about. We finished that series, did Andromeda, and now we've moved on to the Dragon Age franchise. We're currently playing Dragon Age 2. That's me and the incredible Frankie Bradley Lestrange. And that's a lot of fun as well. Like I said, all of this is on djstormageddon.com. Or if you want to follow me on socials, I am most active on Blue Sky, which is also djstormageddon.com, or Instagram, which is DJ_Stormageddon.
Amazing. Jiggy, busy as usual, I assume.
Yep, busy as usual. dropped an awesome video that I think should pick up in some views. Got my 6-year-old nephew to play. It was like a really requested video on my channel.
Yeah. Was it?
Nice.
I mean, to be fair, you talk about him a lot.
Yeah, he's really funny. He just loves video games at this point in his life. And so I'm just having a blast just showing him, like, he comes over and the bookshelf in the background, he'll just come over and just like look at the bookshelf and be like, can we try that one? I'll be like, here's what we're going to do. And I'll pull out like 5 to 10 games.
Yeah.
And if he's staying over the night, I'm like, okay, we're going to play every single one of these games. And if you get locked into one, we'll just play it for as long as you want to play it. But I saved some of the bangers for my channel. And so I had him do Donkey Kong 64 first. I'm like, play this. I'm like, this is what I played when I was your age. So he was 5 at the time. And now we just did a video on Banjo-Kazooie. And I was so proud of him. He sat there and he did basically the entirety of Mumbo's Mountain by himself.
Amazing.
Essentially. And he was like, he's still grasping the 3D controls.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's his dad has a Super Nintendo. So Dave, you'll love this. His favorite game is WrestleMania on Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Which is so funny.
Yes.
But they, they play. I bought them Yoshi's Island. They have Super Mario All Stars. They
Nice.
play all these games, but it's a lot of 2D stuff. So when he comes over to my house and he's into the 3D world, it's like a learning curve. Like he's got to remember that he's got to hold the joystick in a direction and move the camera, and he's still kind of easing into that. So it's hilarious. The things that, like, one of the things in this video is him dealing with bridges in games.
Oh,
Like
sure.
it was something he struggled in Donkey Kong 64, crossing the specific bridge in Creepy Castle, and I had totally forgotten about it. But he brought it up when we were in Mumbo's Mountain because
Oh,
there's a bridge,
there's the one
and
bridge. Yeah,
his
yeah.
like goal, I could tell his personal goal was to get across that bridge without any help from me. He did it.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, but it was so funny, and I just threw a bunch of like flashbacks to the Donkey Kong 64 episode.
I watched
And he's-
the Donkey Kong one. I gotta watch this Banjo one now.
yeah,
Damn.
the banjo one's pretty entertaining, but
That's
yeah, I have that, and
great.
then I've been covering some. I'm kind of in the Microsoft era of Rare right now, so I'm trying to cover some of these games and give them some love because there's obviously with the hit that Xbox and Microsoft hit in recent news, like I'm just trying to like talk about those games and be like, no. Like Rare had some good games. Like
Yeah.
you gotta. So the next game I'm covering is Viva Pinata. So
Hell
that'll
yeah.
probably be out by
That
the time
that
this is out.
that has a lot of fans. Like I know a lot of folks that's been covered on SideQuest. Like lots of folks love that game. I've never played it. I've always been curious.
Same.
Oh, it's really fun.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
I
good.
know very little. I know what it looks like. That's pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, just play it. I'm telling you,
I can find a way, and we can even talk about it. I'm fine with that. Like
It's a
I hear
blast.
it's great. Why wouldn't I enjoy it? It's from
Oh,
Rare.
man.
Why wouldn't I enjoy it? So, yeah,
it's one of
put
those
it- add it to-
games.
add
You
it to
go
the
in to
list.
play for 20 minutes and you get sucked in for 4 hours. That's
yes,
what it is.
Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm hoping to get that with a new game I just picked up, but we'll see. Viva Pinata added to the list. Before I talk a little bit about the show, I forgot to mention off the top, I kind of put out sort of last minute, and I'm glad a couple of people wrote in on Blue Sky about it, but I wanted to see what other people thought of F-Zero X. I didn't expect anyone to say, oh, this is a terrible game, or how could you, oh my God, all the other ones are so much better, whatever, right? I just really think this game's awesome. So anyways, a couple of people wrote in. One of them was Ryan Kern, who I've spoken to before from Paper Clips, if anyone's seen him across multiple social media platforms. He says F-Zero X is one of my favorites, not as brutal as GX, which is interesting, which I assume is the referring to the difficulty. But he says, I love the sense of speed in it. So definitely talking about what we've been discussing.
Oh yeah.
Dave from Tales of the Backlog wrote in and just said, "You've got boost power," which might be all you
much.
need.
Yeah.
The Bob Man who follows Remember 64 on Blue Sky as well says, I played a lot of F-Zero on SNES, GBA, and GameCube, but honestly never played much of the 64 version. And he said, I'm going to change that today. I wrote back and he sent a picture of this little device, and I was like, this looks like an old phone almost, but it's like a flip Ambernick emulation device. It looks like an old Motorola Nokia flip cell phone from 25 years ago or something like that. So it's a little handheld and stuff, and they pulled it up and wrote back only a couple minutes later saying, oh wow, this rips.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So I wanted to mention that for sure. And then Tim, who is on Blue Sky, is T088, who's been in both our communities, Jiggy, and talking a lot about games. And you'll hear from by now, you would have heard from Tim in the Perfect Dark episode. He wrote and said, the only thing this game needs is the ability to Falcon Punch.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which we didn't even mention Captain Falcon, who's like the mascot, essentially.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like, I knew sort of who Captain Falcon was because there was a comic in the SNES game booklet featuring him. So when Smash Brothers came out and everyone's like, who the hell is Captain Falcon? I was like, I know him. I mean, he also enters the stage with the car, which RIP to the entrances. Like, I miss that in the modern Smash games. 64 had them like all come like through the pipes or the star or whatever, like the car. None of the other games.
They brought it back with Ultimate.
Did they bring it back with Ultimate? Okay.
Yeah. Now you got me questioning it, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay, they didn't
Yeah.
for a long time though, because I remember like Melee and Brawl didn't have those.
Yeah,
They
they
just kinda
yeah,
disappeared.
entrances were dope. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
they recognized that and brought it back.
But yeah, and so like when everyone was like, "Who's the guy in the weird tracksuit?" It's like, "Oh, that's Captain Falcon. He rules."
You know, you know
Yeah.
what's crazy about that? I remember this whole thing that Captain Falcon was designed to be the mascot for the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Originally, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Originally
That's
he
right.
was.
And so they
yeah.
made him like that edgy, like this is what we're going for. Like we
Yeah.
want to make
Yeah.
this awesome. And then
He's
I
got
don't-
the blue and the red, yellow. He's got
Yeah.
Mario colors. You
Yeah.
know, he's
Yeah.
got the
Oh
same
yeah,
color
well his
scheme and
colors
such, so-
matched the colors of the Super Famicom controller
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, that's
with
right.
the buttons.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
button.
Yeah, the buttons. Yeah. That's what. Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't
Which-
pan out. F-Zero was popular, but not popular as Mario, and so Mario continued to just be the mascot for everything.
Yeah, and I
So-
think honestly, like with something where
for
you
the best.
control,
Yes.
yeah, you control the hero, you control Mario, or
Yeah.
you can control one of multiple racers or characters. Like it's
Right.
easy to get lost in the mix. Like we just mentioned Captain Falcon. I know this is not
Yeah.
the SNES version, but you know, Falcon is one of 30 in this game. It's very easy to just be like, oh, he's just another character.
Yeah.
another
I could play as
person.
Captain Falcon or I could play as a T-Rex.
Exactly. Right.
You T-Rex. You could play as a guy that looks like Mario, but he's an android.
I can
You
play
could play
as
as
a
an octopus.
samurai.
An octopus with only 6 arms. No, actually, I guess 8 because his legs. But
His
anyways,
legs are arms.
his legs are arms. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. You could play as a Star Fox's dad, who's apparently a human.
Yes.
Yeah.
F-Zero X, everybody, check it out. Remember 64 on your podcast feed, of course. Patreon.com/remember64 show where you can get all the episodes early, some extra content as well, putting up a couple extra videos of stuff where I sort of quote unquote preview these games before we get to the main episode. If you've seen it already by this point, I don't know that there's going to be much of a surprise because I would have liked this game regardless, whether I've played it before or not, I think. So that's pretty much what that little short video is going to be. I put those ones up early and then eventually on YouTube as well, where you can also find these episodes and other videos. And, you know, like the podcast and rate it across those podcast apps, helps more people find it. And do the same for Jiggy and Matt's stuff as well. Make sure that you give them some love because they deserve it. They're hard workers and they do great stuff. So thanks everyone for listening and for watching, and check out consolecreatures.com where you can see more of this show and more great work by the other individuals that I work with there. Great shows, PlayStation Generation and the Creature Cast. All right, everybody, chat to you next time. Go get boost power. Bye.
Show me your
Falcon
moves.
Pod!
You're in first place. Oh, I should have found those sound bites. All right,
Yeah.
bye everybody.